Welcome back, part two, everybody.
I went to school going on with Bumblebee's MLB player. I went to school with Riff Raff. That's one. And then Super Bowl winner. I think his name was Anthony Njikwani. His sister was in my class, and his other sister was in my sister's class. He was like a year or two older than us.
Who is it?
He was on the Baltimore Ravens, I want to say, when they won the Super Bowl. Anthony Njikwani. I think that's his name.
Or was he like a second string guy?
He was like a lineman or something. It was his first year in the NFL.
So he probably didn't play much.
Probably not. But he's
cool,
still a
though.
Super Bowl winner.
Yeah, man. You still get the ring, right? You're on the team. It's teamwork. Hell yeah. Yes, everyone left Rebel, Merc. We left him. We out high and dry. So
I left first. I had to piss so badly.
you should just gone.
I didn't want to leave it just the two of you, you know?
It's fine, man. I can talk.
I didn't want to leave AG with just your company.
Oh, I know. I'm fucking weird. It's the wine. Yeah. I'm drinking a scotch right now. Isles scotch.
Merc, this wine right here. This, you see Snoop Dogg's face at Walmart? You get that shit. It's good.
Isn't that wine where you have to get like an app and you put your phone on it and it like says shit to you?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's that wine, dude. Like there is multiple wrappers on it. It's an app and you hold up your phone and it like plays whatever the fuck it does. Like it says some shit.
There is a QR code here. It says for more, scan this.
I'm pretty sure it's that wrapper wine that like it talks to you and shit when you hold up your phone to it. Some weird app. You were wine drunk yesterday? I was at a barbecue.
She was hiccuping so hard last night.
I was at a barbecue. Were you guys playing?
Yeah, we played some shipment.
It's funny. All that sugar makes you hiccup.
It goes to askthedogfather.com.
I thought there was one wine or something that was like that. That did like let me bring this up. I know it's bright in my face here. "19 Crimes" is
19 Crimes, Cali Red.
Yeah.
It just comes up to where I can ask him a question.
It's augmented reality wine label experience for the launch of Snoop Cali Red. It does like an augmented reality thing. That's kind of weird.
It just came up to where I can ask him a question and he'd answer it.
So a software makes it possible to build interactive web-based augmented reality that works on any smartphone without an app. Users simply go to askthedogfather.com on a mobile device and scan any bottle of Snoop Cali Red. From there, ask a question, and Snoop will appear in miniature holographic form to offer wisdom with a touch of his signature swagger.
I'm going to do that.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy. I thought it was like a thing. I just didn't know which one it was.
It's honestly the only wine that I've ever drank that I can drink more than one glass of.
I had a wine I'm not a wine drinker by any means. I'm not a fan of wine. There are certain types of wine I will drink very limited amounts of, and that would be a Riesling, which is a little bit sweeter tasting.
Yeah.
Or a red, but there's a way that they do red wine here up in the mountains, which I really like, is they heat it and they put like a cinnamon stick in it. I don't know what the fuck it is, dude, but it is amazing. It's heated red wine with a cinnamon stick, and it's like a spiced wine.
Bro, a spiced mead like that would be
It's yeah, you can buy it in restaurants up in Leavenworth here in Washington, which is a Bavarian like Christmas village. Basically, it's pretty amazing during the holidays.
Let's point out the fact that she was drinking white cat wine with ice cubes in it.
I saw the ice cubes in your wine. I was questioning you there. I mean, I get you like to have a nice chilled wine, but ice cubes?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like a wine cooler, right? At that point,
there's a lot of people that have wine, ice in their wine.
I kept my bottle in this insulated bag with ice packs around it.
You should just put it in the fridge. Yeah.
Well, I'm here. I'm not there.
Oh, I know, but I mean, like, Merc.
Was it in the fridge? Yeah.
That's why I got that thing back there. Yeah.
Here's a mini fridge. Jelly.
Right here. Yeah.
I used to have one exact same size right here at my legs.
I need a mini
in my
fridge.
desk.
It's empty right now.
Yours was in a pouch. You kept your wine in a pouch, huh? So it was like boxed wine? Basically, but in like a little pouch, like the kind of pouch you get like applesauce out of. Oh, a 3-liter pouch. Just tie a rope around it and fucking sling it over.
Walmart used to sell like daiquiris in a pouch that you throw in the freezer and kind of get them slushy. It was wine based.
I've drank beer with ice in it, but only Michelada style beer with ice. So that's about it. Like tomato juice, some like tahini and beer, some lime.
Not me. Just pour a beer in a glass and put some salt around the rim. Table salt at that. I don't really care for that lime salt.
I don't like lime salt. Yeah.
I don't like that
lime
beer salt.
Juice. A little lime juice is okay. A little salt. It's all right. It needs to be like a kind of a, I don't know, watery fucking Mexican beer like Corona or, Dos Equis. Throw a little salt in it. One that doesn't have a ton of flavor.
I've said this before, but to me, Corona tastes like, have you ever like scratched it inside your ear and then a little bit later accidentally put your finger in your mouth and be like, oh, what the fuck is that? That's what Corona tastes like to me.
I haven't done that before. I wash my hands.
I have, and that's what Corona tastes like. It tastes like fucking earwax.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's so bad.
I don't drink it regularly at all. I rarely drink Corona, but I rarely drink
a TikTok
beer.
about that. About me thinking that Corona tastes like earwax, and my son today reminded me of. He was telling me like memes and stuff, and he's like, "Have you ever stuck your finger in your ear and then put it in your mouth?" I'm like, "Shut up." He was memeing me. One of my own TikToks.
Oh. I don't even want to hear about that. That is gross.
You could just
Don't act like you ain't accidentally did it. Like accidentally, just scratched your ear and a little bit later just went.
No. No.
No. Can't say I have.
I'm weird. I'm sorry. I guess so. I'm the only one. I can't be the only one.
Are you sure
in
that's
the world
what it was that you tasted on your finger, not something else?
I'm pretty sure.
Your finger in?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've never. I wash my hands after I give myself prostate exams.
By that same token, I would think you would have tasted some butthole too.
Merc has done it, so I'm not the only one.
Merc,
it can accidentally.
I believe it because
anybody.
Merc has literally like
sniffed her pits
and sniffed her fingers
on camera live. Give herself a fucking scratch and sniff test.
Wait, do you like got an itchy butt and you scratch it and then you do a sniff check on that?
I had a coworker that I had a hour-long debate with. She swears up and down she's never had an itchy butthole from not wiping too good, wiping good enough. Never in her life. because she had an itchy butthole from not wiping good enough.
Maybe she
And
has a bidet.
I refuse to believe that because everybody, when they were kids, just wiped one time and be like, I'm going back out and play. And then had an itchy butthole later.
Maybe
everybody.
Hold on, Merc. Are you agreeing with what I just asked? If you like scratch the itchy butthole and then sniff the finger? Is that what you're saying?
Please tell me no.
Yes, I do. Lamau. Oh no. I don't.
Just today I was shown
it's your butt crack. It's not like it's anybody else's butt crack, you know?
Just today I was shown like these cold rags that when you get them wet, they're like really cold.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to use it like this. And I tried to put it on like a cloth diaper.
It's your own butt crack. You smell your own butt crack all you want. No matter.
I mean,
if you want to, it's up to you.
I need to know how it's going to smell if somebody might be back there.
You should probably just wash it first.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
You know, that's you just wash it. Then you don't have to. Yeah, but dogs don't. Well, I guess they do sniff their own butts.
Dogs are animals.
They lick their own assholes.
I don't know if it's not socially acceptable for humans to sniff each other's butts.
No.
We've
Nobody should.
We've moved on to this thing like shaking hands and visually recognize someone by their face. we've grown.
I know that smell.
We've grown past the butt sniffing stage at some point.
Scab, it's you. Yeah, Scab, what's up?
You wouldn't sniff someone else's butt? Nah, I wouldn't do it on purpose.
Nah, I think you're lying. You're married. I think you're lying.
Sniff? Why?
Not sniff, not go down there, but like be down there and smell it.
It's different. That's
you're still
generally
sniffing. You're not
going on that you don't have
purposely sniffing, but you're still sniffing.
Right. You're not going down there for the sole purpose of getting a whiff, you know?
No.
People like to crop dust their significant other in bed. That's called a Dutch oven. And you have to pull the blanket over them.
That? You doubt wrong because that is still a thing.
It's called 100%. A Dutch. You do a Dutch oven. Basically, you fart on the covers and then you pull the covers over them. that's a Dutch oven.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
I'm not going to get canceled for saying it's a Dutch oven, right?
No, but
I don't do that. That's fucking childish. Why would I do that? Usually if I just go in the other room, you know?
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
At least 30%
every time
of the
you
time,
have to pass gas.
At least 30%
you stand
of the
up
time.
And go to the other room.
Nah, at least 30% of the time I go in the other room. In the bathroom. 30%. The other 70%.
And how long have you been married?
Just let it go. I don't know. I like smelling my own fart. You like your own brand.
Everybody loves their own brand.
Or
not loves, but likes their own brand.
Smell farts.
Like you can handle it. You can handle your own fart more than you can handle somebody else's.
See what happens when Ash isn't here to keep us in line? We get devolved into fart fucking conversations. Oh my God.
But to change the subject, I was just sitting there on my phone and just got sucked into a jet in Texas.
What happened?
Oh yeah,
you cut out.
Yeah,
somebody got sucked into a jet engine in Texas.
Oh, let's pull that
person
up.
Got sucked in.
Pull it up. Let's see it. I mean, I don't want to see it, but I want to see about it. We'll move on from the balls and the fart smells.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see.
I will definitely crop dust a grocery store aisle because that shit's hilarious.
Oh, absolutely.
And then just wait at the end of the aisle and be like,
you
watch their facial expressions. They're like, It's fucking great.
Like finding on.
Find out where it come from, and
Yeah.
the SPDs are the best though. Like
It was
like,
me.
okay, no. Would you like it? You're around, you're having a party, you fart around your buddies and whatever. Do you deny it, or do you
Oh no, yeah. You gotta claim it, bro.
claim it?
You have to claim it. That's the rules. If you don't claim it, you're just a bitch. You got to.
Okay.
That's the rules.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I'm
you
proud of
right,
it. I'm proud of it. Hell yeah, that came from me.
I'll be like, don't fucking breathe too deep, you guys. I just fucking ripped a nasty one. That's what I will tell people. Like, don't fucking breathe in too deep. Man law,
man,
exactly. It's one of
I
the
seen a
man
tic-
laws.
I saw a TikTok of people doing fart spray on their grandma.
Oh god, it's just
Fart
sulfur.
spray prank.
Yeah, sulfur. It's cool, dude.
The grandma keeps a paddle on her. She keep that thing on her, and the dude ran by her and she smacked his ass. You farting on me? And you fucker.
I'm
Come in.
you know,
Go ahead.
no, sorry,
Sorry.
go ahead. You're telling a story. Yeah, it was my bad.
No, she just kept going on, and it turned out she's like, it's on my clothes. She thought that he had farted so bad that it's
Yeah.
like on her clothes.
Yeah. It's like a sulfur smell, that fake fart smell. It's gross.
Yeah.
Very
There
sulfur.
was a couple teens that are actually going to be charged for like some chemical warfare shit for setting fart spray off in their school here in Houston.
So when I was in high school, we went down from Cheyenne, Wyoming, down to Fort Collins. There's a mall. Fort Collins, Colorado. There's a mall. We had bought fart bombs. They're little glass capsules with like liquid in them. It's kind of a yellowish color. I think it's just pretty much just sulfur. Well, we were now on this mall, like fucking heaving these things in the mall in different places, and we got caught and taken into the security place. Two of my friends were handcuffed, brought in there. We followed. We were banned from the mall. We got tickets. Like, we were ticketed by the police for throwing missiles.
What?
That's what we got ticketed for. Throwing missiles, basically. Missiles is what they said.
That's
So I had to go to court and pay a fine. Like, it was like $150 or $175. And then,
fart missiles.
yeah, I had to ask the mall if I could have permission to come back on the mall because they took our pictures in there. So us teenagers, like dumbasses, you know, we're 16, 17 years old. We're in there like smiling in our fucking, in our pictures, banning us from the mall, getting our tickets. Yeah, it was for throwing missiles. That was what the ticket said. Fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, we used to back then. We didn't have fart spray. We had those glass little
glass
capsules.
things, yeah.
Once a week, they'd go off in our school.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
we
dude.
just were used to the smell. We're like, oh, somebody fucking
Yeah.
put off a fucking fart bomb.
Well, the thing was, too, is some lady like claimed she couldn't breathe and she had to go to the hospital. So we went to the hospital. You know, we went over there and we're making sure, you know, she's okay and apologizing to her and stuff. And, you know, but she was just a fucking Karen.
No, see, the thing is,
She
in
wasn't.
Canada, y'all didn't have the fart bomb technology yet.
Yeah.
So you had to use your own butt cheeks because
Yeah,
you're
you guys-
younger than us, and we had it.
Yeah. We're way more advanced in America. Like you guys were still chiseling text messages on stone with fucking chisels and hammers.
You know, we're riding mooses.
We had iPhones.
In high school?
No.
we had
I played with
DSL
it.
when y'all had
didn't
14.4 modems.
Yeah.
We were rocking DSL.
Yeah. Did you guys find that the dude that got sucked into a jet engine yet?
I'm
you find
looking for it. I'm trying to find it here.
Back in my day, we had our own butt cheeks.
I'm gonna have to
Let's
search
see.
it, I guess.
You had
I'm
the
gonna look
brick.
at the local news.
Canada had brick Nokias till like
It's in,
2010.
San Antonio, I think. Maybe?
I don't know. You guys can find it out. I wish I could pull up stuff, but it fucks everything up. So, what's up, Weed? By the way, you changed your name to Blue. I see that. I don't see Mermaid. I don't have any issue if a chick lady needs to fucking cuts a fart and stuff. I don't really care. It's fucking hilarious. Fart's a fart. It's funny no matter where it comes from. Dogs, cows, people. It's funny.
I don't know, man. You cow farts are on another level.
They're hilarious though. Still.
Bro. The sound of them are.
It's a
sure.
fart, dude. It's funny. It stinks like a motherfucker. But I mean, someone who eats just fucking grass all day. Ugh. It's probably, I would. Tuna, are you in here? You could correct me if I'm wrong, but is that what a vegan fart smells like? Like a cow fart.
Smells like a broccoli fart.
Bro, we can.
I'm not saying anything in the local San Antonio news.
Grass, yeah.
But I do see U.S. Coast Guard will lead investigation of Titan implosion with help from Canada, France, and UK.
Because it was up north. It was northern Atlantic, isn't it? That where the Titanic wreckage is at. Come on, man. Yes.
See if I can get it to work right. I don't know.
Oh, but okay. These are what people are putting conspiracy theories to that thing. They're the name, the Titan, is the name of the submersible. There was a guy that basically predicted Titanic's downfall, and the ship in the book's name was the Titan. And the fact that the gate suffix.
How about the fact that The Simpsons already fucking predicted that shit like 20 years ago? That shit was on The Simpsons.
A lot of things.
Hold on. That looks like an MD-80 aircraft. How the fuck did they get sucked into that engine? Those things are like 7 feet off the ground. Was he
like walking the wings or something? Shit.
You can't get ingested into that engine. It doesn't have enough power to pull someone off of it unless they were sitting in the damn intake.
Why does it say?
You know what it is? It's probably a stock photo that someone's like, "Yeah, I need an aircraft photo for my thing that's not copyright. Well, I'll just put this one in." Like, bro, you're not getting
Delta plane.
That's an Airbus A319. That photo is not an Airbus A319. Go back up to it. The photo. That is not an Airbus. There's no way. What is it? What does an Airbus A319 look like? It should look like a 737. Dude, that's a dope ass background, bro.
Airbus 319?
A319.
A319. Yeah, the
looks like a 737.
Below the wing. Yeah, it's below the wing.
That fucking plane they had on there was an MD-80 McDonnell Douglas. Yeah. They're fucking dumbasses. They can't even put the right picture on. Must have been a Canadian.
Yeah.
No, it must have been somebody in the damn news.
Yeah, like go back up to it. Go back to the picture. I just want to point this out.
Oh, jeez.
One more time. That is not an Airbus A319. That is a McDonnell Douglas MD-80.
Yeah, because the A13s or whatever you just said, the engine was below the wings.
Yeah. 319s, 320s, 321s, they're all below the wing. That's aft fuselage, fucking the empennage engine mount. That's the plane that lost. So that's the plane that Alaska Airlines was flying off the coast of Southern California by Point Mugu, and it lost control of the jack screw, which controls that big vertical, the tail on it, vertical stabilizer. Mm-hmm. So the horizontal stabilizer is the one that goes across.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, horizontal. So there's a
Horizontal,
jack screw
and there's
in the
your-
middle of. Yep, that's the back part is the rudder, and then up that vertical stabilizer there's a jack screw that adjusts that horizontal thing up and down depending on the weight of and weight and balance of the aircraft. Well, it fucking came off the jack screw, and if you don't have that control, your plane's doing this straight in. It's a fucking yard dart at that point.
So earlier you're talking about that, like only 3 or 4 bolts holding the engine on. What you really have to worry about is that one screw holding your stabilizers.
The Jesus nut. It's a big ass fucking.
I mean, yeah, they call it the Jesus nut, and that's a problem.
The problem with it is because they weren't doing the periodic inspections on it properly, which required you to remove all of the grease and then re-grease it all the way from top to bottom periodically, like on an inspection period, and they weren't doing that correctly, and it wore out.
Yeah, he got ingested into the engine.
Yeah, but you're flying overseas, bro. You're probably flying on like a fucking A380 or a 767 or something like that. A Boeing 767 or an Airbus A380, which those have big underwing motors. They can fly with one engine, just so you know. Airbus, yeah.
So I flew from Texas to Washington State. That's damn near from flying from Mexico to Canada, and was fine. You'll be all right.
Yeah, dude. The engines on these aircraft can fly with one engine. One.
Mm-hmm.
They have enough thrust and power to fly with one engine to get to an airport to land.
If you die, I'm going to erase your browser history. I promise.
I will do that. Yeah, just tell me your password. I'll erase it for you. Yeah, you're flying a little ways.
Oh.
You going to Newfoundland first? You stop in Newfoundland and then hit cross Atlantic.
If you go down, you'll go down in water. You'll be all right.
I've flown into what is it? There's a spot in Newfoundland we always go to. It's amazing. Fuck. We get ice cream bars there every time. They give us free ice cream bars. It's fucking amazing. I can't remember what it's called though. It's somewhere in Newfoundland. Montreal, Germany, then Norway. Oh God, are you going to Frankfurt, Germany, bro? Please tell me it's not Frankfurt. And make sure you have at least a 6-hour layover there, because it's going to take that long just to get through the fucking airport. You have to leave the airport. You have to get your bags, leave the airport with your passport, go back through the fucking check-in process, through security dump your bags, all that shit. Yeah, it fucking sucks, dude. Frankfurt, Germany is a shitty fucking place to lay over, especially if you're a foreigner. It's literally gonna take you like probably 3-4 hours just to get out of the airport and then back through fucking security. And you have to collect your bags.
Let's hope that COVID has changed that.
No, I was just there like about 1 year ago. I was there a year ago. It sucks. Well, good luck. 2 kids in a stress wife, bro. Just be patient. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Benadryl.
Be patient.
For the kids and benzos for the wife.
Yeah.
Benzos.
You be all right, though, man. You're white with blue eyes, so you know what I mean? It was a German. It was a Nazi Germany joke, bro. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's just a long fucking. It's a long layover, man. It was a fucking joke. Relax. All right.
It was funny. I'm sorry, I did laugh.
It was a World War II joke. Do you have blue hair anymore? Green hair? No, don't learn any German. Just speak in English, man. Most everybody there speaks English anyways.
Just go up to every airport employee you see and go, "Du Hashmish."
No.
Du hast mich der Frog.
If you want to know where the bathroom's at, go Mein Führer.
Mein
That's how
Führer, Jesus.
Oh man.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh my god.
You're trying to get that man jailed. I was just trying to embarrass him. You're trying to get him fucking put in prison.
I'm just playing, bro. No,
All you
you'll
do
be
is
fine, man.
you say, "Where's the bathroom?"
Yeah, that's all you do. You don't say anything. How do I say drugs in my ass? Mein Führer. That's how you say drugs in your ass.
Das Pisser?
Das Boot.
No, most everyone over there can speak English, man. Make sure you get some good Dutch chocolate, though. Dutch chocolate is fucking amazing.
And
some German chocolate cake too. Yeah.
They just call it chocolate cake over there.
Yeah.
I need some German chocolate cake.
The fuck do you think this is?
Chocolate cake?
Put that on the list of things.
Do they have American chocolate cake in Germany?
Make a list of things
Probably.
not to say. Pretty much anything that comes out of my mouth, don't listen to it. Except people speak English there. You'll be fine.
Get a
You're
bratwurst.
flying on a safe aircraft. It can fly with one engine, I promise you that. And the layover in Frankfurt, Germany is fucking horseshit for foreigners.
So you
Trust
said you
those
guys
things.
have the English Coke, the white stuff. Okay. I heard that it's still flavored with cocoa leaves, but they get the cocoa leaves from a manufacturer that's already stripped the psychoactive drug out of the cocoa leaves
Yeah.
for lidocaine and medical pharmacies.
Which
And they're still flavoring Coke with cocoa leaves to this day.
natural flavorings, right?
Yeah.
The natural flavoring. How bad could it be? It came from the earth, right? Isn't that what all the guys that smoke weed say? It came from the earth. How bad could it be?
Well, it can't be bad because it's literally just the flavor at that point. They've already stripped all the cocaine out of it.
If you go to Amsterdam,
Blood is good.
if you go to Amsterdam, someone will try to sell you drugs fucking at 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. Don't matter.
Yeah, but you have
no.
you have to be at a coffee shop.
No,
You have to
dude.
buy some coffee.
No, they'll try to sell you drugs right there in the red light district on the street. Like,
Well, yeah, they try to sell you a lot of things on the red light district.
there is. Yeah. Yeah. There's some weird
Okay.
stuff over there. There's
And
weed
Mexican
plants growing
Coke.
in the windows and shit. It's kind of cool.
Mexican Coke. That the difference between Mexican Coke and American Coke is
Real
American
sugar.
Coke uses corn syrup, whereas Mexican Coke uses real cane sugar.
That's why it's better.
Yeah.
Those bottled Cokes? Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
On ice, bro.
You could probably get real absinthe in Germany as well.
Oh, yeah. The absinthe with the E on it is the real stuff. If it doesn't have an E on the
Bro.
end, it's not the real
Yeah,
stuff.
The Green Fairy.
I've gotten way too fucked up on absinthe.
It needs to say-
I think that should
It
be
needs to say
terrible,
wormwood
too,
on
though.
it.
so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Absinthe is so gross.
It tastes like black licorice or black jelly beans.
Yeah, times 100.
We didn't have sugar cubes, so we melted it over little chunks of brown sugar, and
So-
it was even
Well,
worse.
they have special machines for
I have.
ice, and
Yeah.
you turn it on and
So,
a sugar cube,
yep. Yep.
and it's supposed to help.
Actually,
It's
hold
like
on.
gas.
So,
I think I still have one of those like little
I have a bottle of
spatulas.
I have a bottle of absinthe, but it's not the real kind.
Not the real absinthe.
Well,
Yeah, because you can't get it here. It's
I'm going to tell you,
a lot.
it's not the real kind of absinthe. Anyway,
Dude,
you
when-
can get it here. It is manufactured with wormwood. The one time I've actually had the real shit was in Rapid City, South Dakota. There's a restaurant that has a speakeasy underneath it in the basement. I don't remember the name of it, but you get a card, right? A business card, and it has like their logo on it and a number, and you text the number and you tell them how many people you're going to bring with you, and it's your reservation. They'll send you a code to the door. So you go to the restaurant, you go to the counter, like, we have a reservation, and basically tell them like downstairs, and they'll walk you through the kitchen, out the back door, downstairs to the basement door where you punch in your code, and then you can walk in, and it's a speakeasy. Like, no shit, fucking speakeasy. It's badass. That's anyway, when we walked in, dudes like wearing suspenders, like white shirts. They got like big old black glasses on. They just fit the part, man. And they were back there. All the bottles have like medical tape on it with a Sharpie written on it what it is. Like, there's no logos on anything. So I was like, hey, do you guys have absinthe? He's like, oh yeah. He pulls out this big contraption like you're talking about, AG. It's this big brass thing with a water tank on it, and it had 4 little spouts on it. So he pours out 4 absinthe in a what the fuck glass is it? Little glass like these guys.
Like a tumbler?
A tumbler, right? Puts some absinthe in a tumbler and puts it under these little spouts, and puts a flat spoon on it with a sugar cube in the middle of each flat spoon that's slotted. And then he turns on the little spigots on all 4 of this tank thing, and it drips water down, ice cold water down through the sugar cube and into the absinthe, which goes from a clear color to like a milky white.
Yeah, it goes cloudy.
And then you take a sip and you about throw up because it's fucking gross.
It's not good. It's not.
But it will fuck you up.
coming back from Iraq, like my second time, we stopped in Ireland, and my buddy bought a bottle of absinthe and brought it back. They declared it on his card. And
we can't hear you.
We lost him.
Well, knock it off. I'm about to fucking slam this microphone.
Just pull it closer to you. Maybe that'll help.
I don't know. But yeah, he bought a bottle, brought it back through customs. The guy looked at his card and saw he declared a bottle of alcohol and still let us through. Didn't ask him about it. He just told him, you're good. It's an in and out, left or right.
Yeah.
I see the green border.
Hit your cogwheel on Discord and go to voice and video.
Yeah, I think that's too close sometimes.
Your input sensitivity needs to be lowered.
Yeah, I think I'm
to your left.
It cuts out.
Turn the mic gain down on my microphone.
It cuts out when it doesn't pick up your voice loud enough. The noise gain don't open.
When you're going like,
holy shit, it's a tuna.
Get ready to adjust volume. I got you. Okay. Hello?
All right. The sound is going to be shit, guys.
Can you hear both of us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you guys at?
We're literally in a fucking Airbnb right now.
Damn. You got 5G or what? No Wi-Fi?
No, we've got Wi-Fi.
Oh. Well, welcome, everybody. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome.
What's a fancy...
We're here. We made it.
Yeah. You guys staying overnight or what?
We had it booked till Tuesday because Ashley's surgery is on Wednesday.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
We were just talking about absinthe and trying to get AG's mic to stop cutting out on him.
Stupid microphone.
I don't know what's causing.
Yeah, we were. I was watching. We were listening.
Yeah, you're cutting out too.
Yeah, kid closer to your phone.
And we're her iMac.
What is
Hold
it?
in the microphone.
iMac?
Oh, like a MacBook?
No, like an iMac.
Like desktop Mac.
The fuck you find an Airbnb with a desktop Mac?
It's fine.
Oh, you brought it with you?
Hers, I think they brought
I
it. Yeah.
Oh,
I work from home, so I never leave without it.
oh yeah, that's right. And that's your
Yeah,
that's
she
your,
worked from home, so she never
Hold
really.
on.
that's your business
True.
computer.
Oh, that's the one in the picture from your office.
Is it that one?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's my carry-on, literally. I've been known to put my eyes in their own.
You guys are
Those are
cutting
like-
out real bad.
Those are like an all-in-one PC, like computer, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix. Let me see if I can fix
All right.
this boy.
Her carry on. Yep. So we getting a broken up update. Yeah. We're working on that.
I'm just not a big fan of Apple.
I have a MacBook Pro sitting on a shelf over here that never gets used.
Sorry, there was a loud bang somewhere behind my house, and it
Was Tuna probably closed when I was here. I was like, that was probably Tuna closing the AirPods.
no, because I went in there. Other people had heard it in the house
Oh, it's
and
like,
woke up.
how much do I want for the MacBook Pro?
See, I don't think it's just us because they're
know.
lagging a little bit too for us, but
Just
So it might just- it might just be
internet
us.
connection.
I think
Yeah.
it's the internet connection is what it is. $10 in a bottle of Scotch.
Give me a second.
Eee.
Oh,
we'll try to
All right.
connect it to our hotspot and see.
All right.
yeah, it might work better with your hotspot.
$10
back
in a
to
bottle
that.
of Scotch? No, it's a freaking $2,200 laptop. I bought it.
Back to the absinthe talk. When I was
Yeah.
like 22, 23, I paid for a bottle of absinthe. And I was the only one. There was like 5 of us. I was the only one. Like everybody else is like, nah. They took one drink of it and they're like, fuck this shit. I ain't drinking it. So I wasn't gonna waste my money. So I ended up drinking that entire bottle that night.
oh
And
my God.
I can't do it anymore. And it's so
Dang.
bad.
You
And
drank a
we
whole
we were-
bottle?
Yes.
That's disgusting.
Yes. And we were taking I was taking little chunks of brown sugar and just pouring the absinthe over the brown sugar to dissolve it. I wasn't diluting it any.
That's fucking gross, dude.
Yeah, I can't do it anymore.
Is that better? Can y'all hear? Or do we sound better now?
Yes.
You sound okay, yeah.
Yay! Okay, it's not perfect, but at least
Yeah.
hopefully it's not lagging.
It's-
What about me?
No. Not kind of, but not really.
I'm just trying to figure out which microphone because we're sharing AirPods now.
It's definitely on Ash's side.
Yep.
Definitely.
You can hear me better than him.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can hear you have the mic on whatever AirPod you got.
Oh, I see. So we should just sit closer, babe. I know it's terrible.
You're gonna have
but
to yell into her ear.
you're gonna have to like actually sit next to me.
Tell her
Oh.
dirty secrets so we can hear.
We already talked about your balls.
I assume y'all heard that.
We talked about it
Sweet
already.
nothings.
Yeah.
Your non-functional members.
We just said it just hangs there. It doesn't do anything. It's just
Look at
there.
Jay.
Just
We heard
Just
Ash.
decoration.
That's all that matters.
Oh, look. Jay said we hear Ash. That's all that matters.
Fuck you.
at this point, they're just ornaments on a tree.
In a sack.
Oh no.
I'm
just
about to
take
hear
them-
the urine leave my body.
You
Oh,
take
no.
them
Might as well be a
down.
helium balloon.
You take them down once every year, and they're only up for like a month.
Let's be honest, about a week. Let's be honest, like full year, about a week.
Okay, so tell us how the babies are doing. How the baby's doing.
Okay, so
You don't have to.
so-
I'm just asking.
no, you're fine. You're fine. So we got him checked in and everything. They did want to hospitalize him.
Puppies.
So
Tell everybody.
yeah, so these are our puppies. They're 6 months old. We have brothers. They're litter mates. Which beginning?
Like how this started. Like, we have been MIA for a week.
Oh, okay. All right. So, so Wednesday morning, one of our puppies, again, like I said, they're litter mates. They're 6 months old brothers. So, Wednesday morning, we noticed one of them had some diarrhea, and I kind of chalked it up to, we've been trying to reintroduce their regular food because we've had them on a prescription food for another illness that they had a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So I chalked it up to that and swapped them back to, just their straight prescription diet and didn't think a whole lot of it. And then, then Friday morning at about 3:00 in the morning, Ruger, that was the other one. So Remy is the one who started with diarrhea. And then on Friday morning, Ruger started throwing up. And, but it happens every so often. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to freak out yet. But then at about 1:00 in the afternoon, I looked down and Ruger had thrown up all of his breakfast under my desk in my office, undigested. And so then I started to worry a little bit. So I called our vet and was really only concerned about Ruger at that point because I thought, I'd kind of chalked Remy's issues up to food. And as I'm on the phone, you literally cannot make this shit up. As I'm on the phone with our vet, looking out my new office window, I can see Ruger on one side of the yard and Remy on the other side of the yard. And both of them are literally peeing out of their butts in tandem.
Jesus.
And so I was like on the phone with the vet going, scratch that. It's both of them. Like, it's not just one. Whatever one of them has, the other one probably has. Because at that point, my brain put 2 and 2 together and went, okay, now we both have either vomiting and diarrhea. And so we brought him into the vet. They didn't have any appointments, obviously, because it was like 2:00 in the afternoon. So we brought him in. They stayed overnight. So they didn't see them until like evening time after they closed. So they stayed overnight. And then they called us Saturday morning and said that they tested positive for coccidia and giardia, which are intestinal parasites.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't heard the last of it.
Giardia is like eating rabbit shit. They can get it from that, basically.
Fever,
yeah, and
rabbit.
coccidia, they can get it from the soil. So the trade-off is, right, so coccidia is easier to treat, but it's more deadly. Giardia is hard to treat. We went through 3 rounds of giardia with them when they were babies.
Yeah.
It's hard to treat, but it's not as deadly. They can live with giardia, dogs can, in their intestinal tract their entire lives.
Yeah.
And as long as they're asymptomatic, they're not treated for it.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, so we started them on, not antibiotics, but this medicine that they typically treat them with for the parasite, and then some anti-nausea meds and everything. So this was Saturday morning. We picked him up about midday on Saturday. And I noticed Saturday evening that Remy was kind of acting like himself. He was a little bit bubbly, kind of. Ruger was very, very, very lethargic. He was not himself. He was, I don't know. I just felt like something was wrong. It's kind of like a parent with their kid. You can kind of just tell something's off.
Yeah.
And so he was like, they're sick. They have parasites. I get it. Maybe it's just hitting him harder than it is Remy. So then, but he ate. We got him to eat. The only thing we could get them to eat was canned cat food, but we got him to eat something and it was enthusiastic. So we were like, okay, good. They ate, which is a good thing. But then about 4:45 this morning, Ruger threw up again, and there was solid stuff in it, and you could tell that it was what we had fed him from the day before. And I said, okay, now I'm really getting worried. So I messaged, we have insurance on our dogs. And so I called, I messaged we have a 24/7 vet. So I messaged them and said, here's the situation. Should we take him to the ER? Because obviously it's Sunday. And they said, try to feed him maybe some boiled chicken and rice. And if he doesn't eat, or if he continues to throw up, because right now they're also on anti-nausea meds, and the vets will tell you that if they're on anti-nausea meds and they continue to vomit, it's probably serious. So take them back to the vet. So he's on anti-nausea. He's throwing up through the anti-nausea, and he continued to do that all morning long. So by 8:30, we both looked at each other and we were like, we need to take him to the ER. So, because at this point he was very, very lethargic, listless. Just, it was scary. And so we took him to the ER. We've always known since he was about 10 weeks old that he had a heart murmur. But we were waiting. Oh, Jay said I'm talking too fast. Let me know. Just roboting every little bit. Oh, okay, sorry. If you have questions at the end, let me know and I can re-clarify anything as long as you can hear most of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'll try to slow down. So we've known since he was about 10 weeks old that he had a heart murmur. However, there are some puppies that have these murmurs that resolve themselves. It's called a PDM or PDA. It's fairly common. It's not uncommon. And basically what it means is there's a valve after they're born in their heart that the brain and the heart don't communicate with each other. And that valve does not close like it should after they're born. So it causes a murmur, and the prognosis is really good for the surgery. There's a surgery to fix it. And that prognosis is actually expensive. It's like $3,000 to $6,000 depending on where you live, but they're very likely to survive with the surgery. So we knew that surgery was probably coming if he had the murmur that we suspected he did. The problem is that apparently over the last couple of months, his murmur has gone from a 4 to a 6, which is the highest level you can have of a murmur, which has also caused an enlargement of his heart. So now he has an enlarged heart and the murmur, which is as high as you can get. And he's only 6 months old. And right now, because he's malnourished, he's only about 5 pounds.
Jeez.
And so he was 6.8 before all this happened. So he's lost a lot of weight. He's very malnourished at this point. And yes, it's very, very, very tough. So he's very weak. He's very malnourished. He's very listless. It's very scary to watch. But so our concern was that the ER vet is they said, if he had come in without a murmur, any other animal, she would have given him IV antibiotics and fluids.
Yeah.
But with his heart murmur, because his heart is already working on overdrive because of the murmur, if you give him too much fluids, it can cause a cardiac arrest.
Oh, wow.
So not being a specialist, she was not comfortable. She said, I can try to estimate based on his size, the right amount of fluids to give him. But I don't think that that's the right thing to do. She said, I don't feel confident in it. She said, I think he needs fluids under the supervision of a specialist. And she said, and in her words were, and she even tried to find less scary words, and she couldn't. So what she said was, if you want him to have the best chance of survival, you need to take him to a specialist in a hospital like LSU today.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. So that fast forward to today, we went home, we packed up essentially and drove 4 hours to Baton Rouge to get him to the hospital he's at now. And they confirmed after some testing. So they took him back and did some initial tests and basically said, he is very sick. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But the one saving grace we have, and this is what we were hoping for, is that they feel that it's two completely separate issues and that we need to work on treating what's making him sick right now, and then we can worry about the murmur later. They don't think that the murmur is an immediate, like he could die at any moment from the murmur risk. But his murmur does make his treatment a little bit trickier because they have to be careful what they do based off of how his body will react.
Yeah.
So basically what they've done is a lot of, labs and things like that. What they wanted to do tonight was take another x-ray. They've also seen he has a very large colon. which no one has told us that up until now, but we don't even know if that's going to be a problem until tomorrow. So essentially what they're doing tonight is they're trying to keep him alive and stable overnight. And then they're going to transfer him to internal medicine tomorrow, because internal medicine is where they're going to do all the diagnostics, because essentially right now the answer to all of our questions is we don't know.
Yeah.
How big of an issue or what's causing any other than the heart murmur. We know that what the heart murmur is. We know how to fix it. If all he had was the heart murmur, we'd be in a good place. But our worst fear was coming here and them saying, we can't fix what's wrong with him unless we address the murmur. And the best case scenario was them coming here and saying, okay, the murmur can wait. Let's fix whatever's making him so sick and get him more stable.
Yeah.
And then we can make a plan for the murmur, which is what we were hoping to do from, since he was 10 weeks old. So right now it's very touch and go. I mean, her honest, I asked her, I said, be honest with me. What am I looking at in terms of him surviving overnight? And she said, I would be worried, but know that you're doing everything you can for him right now.
Yeah.
So it's not super optimistic, but it's not, he's going to die overnight. It's extremely touch and go, and we're kind of playing it by ear. So luckily so what we have here at LSU is, it's a school. So there's a lot of med students, and the senior med student that's on our case, because I asked, I was like, are we going to hear anything overnight? And they said, well, we'll give you in the morning, to give you an update before we transfer him to internal medicine. And I was like, but what about after you start his fluids? Because my concern was the ER vet was worried about doing fluids because of his murmur. Now we have another vet who's not a cardiologist who wants to start fluids. And I'm like, well, she was worried about doing fluids. How worried should we be now about starting fluids? And she was like, I feel confident that we're going to do this at the right rate to where it's not going to cause a cardiac arrest. And not only that, but here in the ICU, they're monitored 24/7.
Oh, okay.
So there's literally someone there all the time. So and he's on respiratory status, which means if anything happens, they're going to know immediately because he's being monitored. So
they have him like kind of, what's the word? Knocked out basically, and just on hooked up on.
So they're trying to do everything they can without sedation because his heart is a concern.
Yeah.
So at this point, he's not sedated.
Okay.
Now tomorrow, when internal medicine gets him, depending on what test they want to take, they may feel the need to sedate him. But as of right now, he's not being sedated, but he's being monitored for respiratory failure and heart failure and all of those things. So he's just being monitored around the clock, like a person in ICU, essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
And the senior student here said, I'm here until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. How late is too late to call you? And I said, there is no too late. My phone will be on. If you don't mind calling me before you leave and giving me an update, I would greatly appreciate it. So he said he's going to call me. So at least I'll feel better knowing in the middle of the night, like how, even if he's just not doing worse, that's better than nothing,
He's still stable and in the same spot he was. It's at least, he's still, breathing and alive. So.
Yeah, with those symptoms, I instantly thought parvo. And especially with the heart murmur, that would have been a death sentence.
Yeah, no, they've tested him for parvo. He's been vaccinated fully for parvo. They think that the biggest thing is we know he has the coccidia. The coccidia could be causing everything that he has, but he has an elevated white blood cell count, which usually indicates either an infection or another chronic illness. And that's an answer we won't have until internal medicine gets a hold of him and actually looks at that to see what's causing that. If it's an infection, that's honestly the best case scenario, because then they can start him on some IV antibiotics along with the fluids. They're talking about if he vomits overnight or can't keep anything down after tonight, putting him on a feeding tube, because at this point, the biggest concern right now is dehydration and malnourishment, because he has nothing in his system since like Thursday evening, I think, is the last meal he actually digested. Everything else since then, he's thrown up. So,
and I mean, his sugar levels are great, so we're not concerned about seizure. Like, it's one of those, like, we just have to wait this weekend or tonight.
Yeah.
And then hopefully to up and up from there.
And see what internal medicine says tomorrow. I mean, ultimately, that's going to be the biggest thing, is what is causing him to be so sick? Is it really just the coccidia? Or is there some other underlying issue causing it? And that's going to kind of dictate how we can treat him.
Yeah.
And everything. So, she didn't sugarcoat it. She was like, I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be touch and go over the next couple of days. She was like, but because I was worried that we were working with the heart issue and whatever other sickness he had in tandem. And she said, I would honestly be more worried about what's causing him to be so sick than I would the heart. I think the heart can wait until afterwards, which is good news, because I thought that we weren't going to be able to essentially fix him or make him feel better. Because before this, you would have never known he had a grade 6 heart murmur. There was no symptoms. There was no... It never bothered him at all. If we can just get him back to that state, then we can make a plan for doing the surgery and not feel like he's in such imminent, danger.
Yeah.
But we have to get him out of whatever is causing him to be so sick. So that's kind of the thing right now, is kind of a waiting game. But like she said, when we left, the best thing they could tell us was that as of right that moment, he appeared to be, while very sick, he was also stable. He was not in respiratory arrest. He was not in cardiac arrest. He did not seem to be in distress, acute distress. He was just very lifeless and,
just really
weak.
Lethargic and weak and
very,
seemingly tired,
Yes.
Well, we kept trying to get him hydrated, and it wasn't until we were on our way down here we saw a little bit more life.
So what I did was, every time he drank water, he would just throw it back up. So I told Garrett, I was like, what if we give him, let him lick an ice cube? Then it's not like, so he's getting water, but he's not like, there's not like a pocket of water sitting in his tummy. And so about once an hour, I would give him an ice cube. I would hold it in my palm and just let him lick it down until it was gone. And he, as of 8:30 or so, when we left the hospital, he had not thrown up. So he kept about 3.5 ice cubes worth of water down after, about 3 hours of giving it to him. So we were feeling at least a little bit good about that was the first time he'd had any sort of hydration that he didn't throw back up within 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah. Poor little guy. Dang.
That's kind of where we're at right now.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Well, I hope he pulls through. That's like, man, that's tough.
Yeah. These guys have been I don't know. These boys are they're my kids. They're everything. They spend all day with me. I work from home. It's just me and the boys all day. And it's, I just,
I have cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome. So if I smoke weed, I get sick for days on end. And my longest was 8 days. I said it in chat. 8 days of being sick, not being able to hold down any food or water for 8 days. I convulsed on Thanksgiving Day and woke up 2 days later in the hospital wondering where I was, how the hell I got there. I was moments from death's door.
Right.
So that's what got me quitting.
I
almost died from smoking weed.
Damn. So don't smoke any weed, man. Don't be doing that.
If you have cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome, I can still do Delta 8. I just can't do the real shit.
Ash, I gotta say, I mean, aside from everything, I know that's tough. You guys are going through it right now, and I hope your little guy pulls through, man. I really do. Dogs are they're part of the family for sure. So
yeah, they were my early empty. It was like my early answer to empty nest syndrome, you know, because my kids are 16 and 10. So I was like, these are my new babies. I'm not having any more babies. My kids have kind of outgrown, in a lot of regards, outgrown me. Like, these boys are like everything to me. I can't even.
I feel you. My dogs are my kids too. I mean, absolutely.
Is it the cute one? Is it the white one with the funky eyes that's sick right now?
That's okay. Remy, and he's in my lap right now sleeping.
Remy's doing okay then?
Yeah, Remy bounced back. Remy seems to be doing fine, which, you know, it kind of worried me a little bit. I was like, if Ruger has an infection, I mean, they're so close, like they're together all the time. So it's like twins, you know, like what one gets, usually the other one gets. So then I was worried, like maybe Remy has the same infection, but he's, like, his poops have started to go a little bit back to normal. He never threw up, and he's just kind of back to his bouncy little self. So it's just him. I don't know why it's hitting Ruger so hard. And we worried, like, on the way here. Tuna was said the same thing. On the way here, he was like, I wonder if that heart murmur is just because he's already immunocompromised. Like, you know, his body already works harder on a daily basis to keep him alive. That having an infection or whatever, it just causes his body to have to work that much harder.
Yeah, he's just debilitating from whatever it comes across. Yeah,
it just compounded.
I have to tell, like, all the medical professionals that work on me that when I was a baby, they said I had a heart murmur, but they'd never been able to find it since. So, like, I have to take special medications if I'm going under anesthesia, stuff like that. Anything that has to do with the heart, like they take extra precautions for it.
And that's why they said tonight that they didn't want to give him anesthesia or sedation unless they absolutely had to, until he was like under the supervision of like a cardiologist and all that stuff, because it's just just a trickier thing, you know. They just can't. But, you know, they found one in me at one point, too, or an arrhythmia or something. I don't know that they ever necessarily called it a murmur, but definitely some sort of an arrhythmia. But it's one of those things that, like, sometimes they see it and sometimes they don't. So it's never really been, like, officially diagnosed. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, when I was born, I had a murmur as well, but apparently they can heal. I don't know how factual that is, but I don't have one anymore. So
they told us the same thing about Ruger. It's called that's what I was talking about earlier. It's called a PDA. So I don't know if it's the same with humans and dogs, but I know it's just similar. Okay, so it's called a PDA. So essentially, when you're in the womb, there is a valve that stays open for the blood to flow through from mom to baby. And when they're born, there should be some sort of connection between the brain and the heart that goes, oh, we don't need to do that anymore. And the valve naturally closes itself so that there's not a backfeed of blood into the heart. When that connection does not happen and the valve does not close, it causes that particular murmur. It backfeeds blood into, you know, whatever. So it's a fairly common murmur. It's one of the most common and one of the most one of the easiest or best prognosis murmurs to have, because it's easy to fix. It's expensive, like I said earlier, but it can be fixed. And that's the only reason we waited as long as we did with Ruger, because we've known since he was 10 weeks old that he had a murmur. But they said the same thing we did. Sometimes after they're born, it doesn't close when it's supposed to, and it can take up to like 6 months for that valve to close. So if he was asymptomatic, then, you know, give it 6 months, see if it closes on its own, and then if it doesn't, make an appointment with the cardiologist. We have insurance on our dogs. It would be fully covered, so it wasn't an issue. So we've kind of just been waiting all this time, and we still could be. Now, granted, most dogs who don't get the surgery don't make it past about a year. So he's within that window of time where we would need to be addressing the murmur anyway. We just didn't expect to need to do it, or, you know, expect it to, you know, compound a completely other issue.
To uproot our lives 2 days before Ashley has to be in there.
To have surgery. So now I'm like worried about all the things.
Yeah, things never happen in the best timing, do they?
Yeah.
That's yeah.
When it rains, it pours.
When we got Sadie, my golden doodle, she had a torn MCL in her leg, and I guess the previous owners didn't realize it or didn't care to tell us or whatever the case may be. So when we just like, all right, well, we had a meet and greet with her to see if she would fit well, and then next thing we know, her stuff was being brought in her house, and they were gone, and we had a dog. And we came recommended because we're with doodles and stuff. Caring for doodles they're high maintenance, and
we had doodles. Yeah, that's the one I lost a couple years ago.
And so we got recommended. They met us, dropped her off, and we had her. And I took her into the vet just to get a checkup because she was pretty scraggly at the time. The guy was the lady was a psychologist or psychiatrist. She was an office dog, so she was a therapy dog. And so she was an office dog, and he was dying of a stage 4 liver cancer disease of some sort, and they couldn't care for her because of all the appointments and everything. So they had to. We took her. We adopted her. But we took her in, and because she was limping around, they're like, yeah, sometimes she limps when she runs hard or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. I look at her leg, and I'm like, this leg is like half the muscle mass as the other leg. I'm like, there's clearly something wrong with it. Took her in. They're like, yeah, she has a torn MCL. She's just not really using it as much as she should be. So the surgery on that is quite expensive as well. It's about a $5,500 surgery. I'm like, man, this dog's only like 5. I'm like,
right?
She has so much life ahead of her. I was like, okay, so we do the surgery. 3 months of rehabilitation time, on a leash in the house, everywhere, in a pen, very little room to move around, coned all the time. And it was tough. And then less than a month after that, she was running around just fine, and her other leg, she tore her MCL in her other leg.
Oh,
so we had to do it all over again. The same
insurance.
Same surgery.
Insurance.
Yeah. The problem was by the time we learned about that kind of insurance, she'd already had pre-existing conditions, and it would have been like, I think the doc said you wouldn't be able to get it because of the pre-existing conditions.
We had that issue with Scotch. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had to do it again, and then rehabilitate her again.
Well, the injuries.
Second time though.
Yeah.
Injuries are usually coverable if they're unrelated to the first injury.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, depending on your insurance policy. But like for us, like with Scotch, his hip dysplasia and arthritis.
Yeah.
Those were things he had already been diagnosed with, so those aren't covered. But
Well, the problem with her is this lady said she got it from her daughter, and her daughter is a breeder, golden doodles, right? Well, she has all of the symptoms and signs of inbreeding. She has a little bit of misshapenness around her backside. So like where she pees, it's definitely more sunk in than there should be normal. So she's prone to getting like yeast infections and shit like that.
Yeah.
Urinary tract infections, she gets them. Yeah. And then she had problems with her back legs, her knees. She has skin issues constantly. I'm like, this dog, and even the vet said it. She might have been inbred or had a little bit of inbreeding going on in there. But she's like the best fucking dog ever. She's amazing. Yeah. She just has all these health issues that she struggles with all the time, and she's quite the expensive animal, that's for sure.
That's how our puppies are. Like
free dog, and she ended up costing ridiculous amounts of money. But
we were just talking about that when we went to grab something to eat afterwards. We were like, they're like 1000% don't regret a thing because they are our dogs. Like they were the perfect dogs for us, but they have been nothing but a money pit. I mean, I swear
Yeah.
by the time all is said and done, to include how much we paid for them plus vet bills,
Yeah.
plus his heart surgery, we're probably looking at $15,000 to $20,000. Like,
it's
a lot.
I think I've probably spent around 20 on Sadie in the amount of time that I've owned her.
Yeah.
But,
You should name them boat and yacht.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
telling you, man.
New
like,
car.
But you know what? So I lost, I had a golden doodle and I lost him when he was 9 months old to, he had an intestinal blockage and he had surgery, which it's not what they call routine technically.
Yeah.
But it's not an uncommon thing, especially for doodles, because they're very, very prone to chewing. They love socks and things like that. So his wasn't a sock, but they are very prone to just swallowing things. So they went in, they, took it out and sewed him back up, and everything should have been fine. In the morning, he was supposed to come home. I got a call from the vet. Moose took a turn for the worse. He's not eating again.
Yeah.
We're going to keep him another day or two and see what's going on. Well, after 2 days, they said, we really need to go in there and figure out what's going on. So they went back in there. His incision had ruptured, so he was leaking on the inside. So they had to resect 4.5 inches of his small intestine, sew them back together again. And we were like, okay, we don't know why it happened the first time, but he's an otherwise perfectly healthy dog. So he should be fine. And then the day before he was supposed to come home, got the call again. Moose is not doing well. We probably need to make a decision. And long story short, by the time we could even get to the vet's office, I was in the room for 45 seconds and he died in my arms. I mean, it was like, we have no idea why he couldn't heal from it, but it was from when you spend $4,600 on a dog that doesn't even come home, you're like, that's even more heartbreak. I would have gladly paid them every penny and walked out with a smile on my face if I had my dog with me. Yeah. But to walk in a week later after he died, because they were really great about it after he passed away, they were like, don't worry about it, take some time. And so about a week later, I think we went in and we paid for it. And that was like an extra knife in the gut. And so after that, I'd seen people talk about dog insurance. And when we talked about getting in dogs, I was like, I will never own another dog without insurance. Like that was and now I'm so grateful because as long as it's not a pre-existing condition, everything that goes on with Ruger is, we might have to upfront it, but it's covered up to $10,000 a year. So that's like a huge load off.
That's like my other dog, Copper. He's a cockapoo, and like so we knew his breeder, and just based on like history, both his parents are AKC registered and have zero medical issues for like 4 generations behind them. Yeah. So like he's healthy as a fucking ox. Sometimes I'm like, dude, chill the fuck out, but he's healthy as an ox. And it's funny because you mentioned like you like to chew on stuff, but it's so weird. But I want to like mine don't touch anything other than their own shit. It's so fucking weird. They will not touch a thing. Yeah, they won't touch anything. They chewed up everything. I was expecting it 100%. I'm like, oh god, I got a puppy. He's gonna fucking chew on everything. Nothing. Not even as a puppy. I tried to get an old sock, tie a knot in it for him, and let him have it, and he didn't want it. Yeah, that's how Scotch was.
What's wrong with you, dude? Our old man was like that. He never really was a chewer. Yeah. In fact, the first time I ever saw him chew on something, I was like, and he was like 10 years old, and I was like, wait. And it was like a rawhide or something, and I was like, wait, we do chew? Like, I have sandy and loamy soil out and clay soil, and they will eat fucking sand sometimes, which annoys the shit out of me because it will plug them up. So I'm like, okay, this dog doesn't shit for like 2 days. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Yeah. I'm like, I give them extra doses of fish oil and shit, and it clears them out. But
I had a nephew that would eat sand.
Yeah, salmon oil is good for that kind of shit. It helps a little extra on the food.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so we give them salmon.
So I always wanted to know, like a golden doodle, that is a golden retriever and a poodle, right?
Right.
Are they breeding, like breeders? Are they breeding a golden retriever with a poodle every time, or are they
Yeah.
breeding
So-
golden doodle with a
So
golden
that would be an
doodle.
F1.
Yeah.
That would be an F1.
That's what people
They have
want.
different generations. Yeah.
F1s are the better generation, because if you get an F2, F3, you can get more of one breed into them than the other. So they may look more
You
like
can
a
also
poodle
get inbreeding.
or more like
So-
a golden retriever.
Well, it's not inbreeding necessarily, because what they do is the way that it works is they always, usually anyway, with breeders, it's the way you get the generations is, so like an F1 is a full-blooded poodle with a full-blooded golden retriever. That's what we had. As you go down, it would be a full-blooded poodle mixed with an F1 golden doodle. And then that would make it an F2. And so the further down you go, the more it's mixed. But usually the full blood is always the poodle. They never do like a golden doodle and a retriever, because the original intent for a golden doodle was for the poodle, because so that it's hypoallergenic and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just depends on how far down you go into the mix. But it gets all the way as far down as where they'll do a golden doodle to a golden doodle. And I think that's like an F1B or something like that.
Yeah.
But
I think that's
kind of how it works.
Like Sadie, I think, is like probably an F2, because she definitely looks like, have friends that have golden doodles they look similar to her. She's a little smaller than them. She's
So
the
she
female,
might be in a product
but
of like a female with a
right. She may have been
daughter.
Right. Well, she may have been a golden doodle bred with a poodle, or a golden doodle potentially bred with even a golden retriever. But I don't think she's an F1. Like Copper's an F1. He's his dad was a poodle. Met his dad. His mom was a Cocker Spaniel. Both a buff color. So the colors of them are pretty reliable too.
So what you're saying, like
they breed that couple like numerous times.
with your showing inbreeding signs, it could possibly been a child with its parent.
Could have been potentially, yeah, potentially. And that's just that's an irresponsible breeder who's just fucking cutting dollars. That's all they're doing. They're breeding a dog and selling it for $2,000. You know?
Yeah. See, selling it's where you have a problem, but for them to get each other pregnant, that's. I mean, we used to breed Pomeranians, and we would put diapers on the females when they're in heat, and we would put diapers on the male because he was getting to the females with the diapers on. He got to them with the diaper on himself and the females. He pulled them down and pulled them back up. So it's not just like an irresponsible thing. It's like it just happens.
So the breeder we went to, they were separated. They never, like, they were only brought together for breeding. That's it. So the puppies, when they were born, the dad could come in and like visit the puppies and stuff like that. But for the most part, the mom and the dad were always separated. They never got to. And then when the puppies were old enough for breeding age, they never were. They were either sold, because like 8 weeks generally they were sold off, or there was no.
So what they probably did was pay for a stud.
No, they had their own. That the dogs were just always kept separate. So basically, like, they were never. So like this stud would never be around certain females if they weren't there for breeding. So he bred with like 2 or 3 females. I think it was like 2 other Cocker Spaniel females. So he was like the male for both of them, but like he would get to see the puppies and stuff, and if they kept them, if they weren't going to breed them, like kept them separated. So that's just how they avoided that kind of thing. Because we asked all those questions too.
Well, that's what they're doing. Like, if they're legit doing it for breeding, like ours, when we were breeding them, we would sell the puppies, but they were family, so they would be together all the time as well. They were just our 3 dogs.
They were breeders, like that was their business. And they did very rare to have litters. I mean, you had to get on a fucking waiting list and shit, because they weren't milling them out like a puppy farm, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were specific and very timely and everything. So
Yeah.
with Sadie though, I have no fucking clue. Who's to say? Some lady in Southern California just breeding dogs, making golden doodles, and selling them. It sounds like what they were doing, and not being too responsible with it. So
Our newest dog was sold to us as a Pomeranian, but I've looked at like not his genealogy, but the way she looks compared to like pictures, and she's German Spitz because we've seen like once she grew out of that awkward stage as a puppy, we knew like that's not a Pomeranian. If it is a Pomeranian, it's mixed with like maybe a long-haired Chihuahua or something.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not really a Pomeranian. But now that I look, she's probably a German Spitz.
well, I guess we got to wrap it up.